Baby, we're live, guys, and welcome in. Happy Saturday. Hope you guys are having a strong start to your Saturday. The weekend is here, and we got some money to make. We got some games that are going to be going on. Big college hoop slate today. A lot of NBA. We're starting off on the Odds GM Optimizer, looking at Prize Picks best 5 and 6-man slips right now. We're going to be hanging out for about the next hour, just smashing bets on the Odds GM, whether it's DFS, arbitrage, positive EV, looking at the sportsbook screen, kind of looking at everything. So appreciate you hanging out for the next hour or so. Let's make some money. How did guys go for you yesterday with betting? I'm going to throw this over to 2 minimum data points right now. I made a little trip down to Rivers Casino. It was really actually to go out with some friends, just to go out to have a couple drinks, but I made sure that I parked at the casino so that I could stop in. I mean, obviously it's free parking, and then stop down in there, place a couple of bets. And it was just one of those like fun nights at the casino. So when I'm with my buddy, I go down, I go place my 2 wagers. I shared the slips on X last night. And then before we left, I was like, hey, I got to throw $100 on black on roulette real quick. Bingo, hits on black, got $100 of drinking money. And then we just went out and had a nice time. It was a lot of fun. So it was nice to get out at the casino. Like anytime that like my friends are like, hey, we're going to be down in the city, I just automatically think of Bet Rivers Casino. I'm like, oh my God, I got to go after the sports book. One of the easier sports books that you can really profit off of. And it was a lot of fun. It was cold, very cold as shit. I'm not really excited about how cold it was, but it was a good time. And then I'm one of those guys because I only care about sports betting, right? Like sports betting is my jam. We're going to go over to Underdog, take a look at some maybe 3-pick, maybe 6-pick entries. Let's start with 3-pick entries with no insurance. And so I sit down at like a slots machine. I have no idea what I'm doing with slots. No idea at all. And throw in like $10, just max bet whatever the machine is. I made like $6 on my first spin, right? $6 profit. Immediately cash out. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing with slots. I just want to take a couple bucks. So it was just one of those fun days where I didn't spend a ton of time at the casino, but when I was there, I was in and out in probably less than 20 minutes. And at the end of the day, ended up making, I think, around like $600. And it was a lot of fun. So good time. And we have another one not too far down the road here that uses FanDuel. It's called Live. I'm in Western Pennsylvania, guys, so that's why I'm not cooking up any DFS slips right now for you, because Pennsylvania, not friendly to the DFS. So we're looking right here. Let me throw in the 2 minimum data points to see what this changes, if any at all. Yeah, that changes quite a bit when we're looking at 3-man picks. If you want to have, obviously, a few sports books that are going to tell you, here's some different odds, changes things, but I'm still fine if you want to make a 3-man slip with no insurance off of these 3 guys. If we change this over to 6-pick entries, let's see what we got. NBA game in an hour. Yeah, I forgot about that, Dan. We do have Pacers, Spurs. So we're going to be focused on some player prop bets for sure with the NBA, looking at that. You know, Wemby's over playing some games in his home country. It's game 2 of this little 2-game international series between the Spurs and the Pacers. So we want to take a look at that. If you're looking at a 6-pick entry over at Underdog, a lot of options, a lot of great options. Nice to see golf back in the mix. As we're looking at, this will be the 3rd round. If it's a Saturday, 3rd round for the Farmers Insurance, not round 4. That's incorrect, but definitely for the 3rd round. Big weekend, Gambling Cigars, no doubt about that. Bull flag morning to you and morning to everybody else. Hopefully you guys are off to a strong start. Glad to hear that, Juan, that you did well on no vig. Larry's asking, which is better to get the betting for? I'm in Georgia as the optimizer. So, I mean, it just depends, Larry. I'm very partial to positive EV, but in Georgia, the optimizer is going to have everything that you want, right? Because you're going to be able to access a lot of these DFS books. Let's go take a look at Better right now. And then any of the social sports books, right? Now, OddsGM just added a new social sports book to the mix, which is Onyx. And so what I love about Onyx is that they are basically, they kind of are a FanDuel skin. So what I mean by that is they kind of copy a lot of FanDuel's odds. So I love this for a couple of reasons. Anyone that does have a FanDuel account, now you have like another sports book that you can use that has FanDuel's odds, right? Great for arbitraging. And then, but if you live in a state maybe like Georgia, you can use Onyx and be able to have access now to FanDuel's odds. So it's really awesome. So we're going to take a look at Fliff plays right now and see what we have on Fliff. And again, guys, when we're utilizing this I think also too, Larry, just when you're getting started, this is a great price point, good bang for your buck. But whenever you're talking to the guys over at OddsJam, remember, right down here, guys, if you come over to OddsJam, just click in the chat right here, and then this is where you can chat with them. You can send them a message, talk to Randall, Nolan, a lot of really good dudes over at the OddsJam team. And this is where you can negotiate with them. Start to negotiate your price. Tell them what you can afford. Tell them what you're looking to do, and they're just going to help you out as best they can. So that's just where you're going to find it, is right here in the bottom right-hand corner. So, and the goal here of this whole stream, guys, is for me just to showcase to you all the tools and show you exactly how I like to utilize these tools, right? So maybe we're looking at minus 175 to plus 175. Murray over 12.5 rebounds and assists. This is really good to Caesars and MGM. And Fliff's sitting at minus 140. Sometimes I like to see it where Pinnacle is, or maybe where FanDuel is. So like in this example with Peyton Pritchard, we're getting this at minus 120 odds. This is pretty good to Pinnacle, and it's not bad to FanDuel. Not bad at all. So Peyton Pritchard under 3.5 assists. I'm going to tee this up right now over on Fliff. Let me close it and reopen it because I got to reopen this bad boy. And then we're going to go and hit this one up. So this is where I'm being a little bit more pickier, where I like more sportsbooks to have more opinions here. And so for Peyton Pritchard under 3.5 assists, I like this a lot because of what we're seeing here with Pinnacle and with FanDuel. So we're looking at the Celtics game, and we're going to hit this under 3.5 assists. But that's what I would say, Larry. It's a good question to ask, but I would say start off maybe with the optimizer, but also just asking for a 7-day free trial, right, of the Platinum plan. And it's going to give you access to all the bells and whistles, and then you're going to be able to really find out, like, what you're ready for. And so, the beauty with the Platinum plan is the sportsbook screens included. Speeds are a lot faster. If you're into offshore sportsbooks, those are available. So those are kind of some of the key points. Let's go 200 on this one. So we're going to go 200 on Peyton Pritchard. So I got a little bit of money left over. And then I'm going to utilize this as in the bet tracker, make sure I track all my bets. And then like last night when I was at the casino, when I got back last night, I made sure to upload those tickets into my bet tracker. Guys, I track all my bets always. And so we'll take a look at Rebet right now. But I'm always tracking my bets, and it really helps me out. It helps me just kind of keep track of what's going on, what markets I'm crushing it in, what sports books I'm doing well with. Excuse me. We got baseball pitchers and catchers are going to be reporting in a couple of weeks. In the month of February, I'll go ahead and export my bets, take a look at like all my baseball bets last year, what markets I did well in, what markets maybe I didn't do so well in, what odds range, what sports book. I kind of do a deep dive. I'm not just maybe last year's baseball season, but then the previous years. I've been using OddsJam for over 3 years now, so I have a couple baseball seasons under my belt. Really helps me get an idea by tracking my bets, like, where I'm going to attack baseball when within spring training and first pitch, because I do bet some spring training games every now and then. Looking at Rebet here. So these are some pretty juicy odds right here at the moment, but maybe Commanders plus 11.5. This looks really, Pinnacle doesn't have any odds for this, but a lot of the other sports books do, like Fliff, Bet Rivers, DraftKings, FanDuel. Not a bad price on Commanders at plus 11.5. I'm looking to see where Pinnacle, and this is, especially guys, when it comes to the main lines here, like right here, like Pinnacle's at minus 112. You can get this at plus 106 on the over on Morgan State, Coppin State. I'd be interested in this. My Rebet, it's kind of basically non-existent now, so that's why I'm not placing any bets over at Rebet, because I had a good run with my Rebet account. I'll say that. But I do like some of these plays. Let's go over and take a look at some other DFS books like Parlay Play. So recently, in the last couple of months, OddsJam's added Parlay, a new DFS book, Parlay with an E on the end of it. And then Onyx just got added as well. So for Parlay Play, anyone that uses this, here's 5 plays. I'm really bullish on, I'd say, these first 3 plays. And I actually don't mind this Obi Toppin play because of FanDuel's at minus 138 and Pinnacle's at minus 127. So I like this Obi Toppin play quite a bit. That would be one of my first plays that I would look to throw on. Let's look at Dabble. And then we got the new Onyx odds. And then also Owner's Box for sure. Daniel, what's going on? Appreciate any of the OGs and DGens that are stopping by, hanging out. I'm going to be on here, guys, tomorrow at noon, kind of doing the same thing. We're just going to be running through the different books, going through the different tools, just placing some bets, making some money. It's a great weekend, as we're kind of like right now in the mix with basketball. It's all basketball right now, baby, and we still have 2 really important football games going on. Let's take a look at Onyx odds really quick. I'm interested to see what's there. No profitable plays? That's a little It's a little knocks the wind out of my sails. I'm kind of hyping the book up, and then we got no profitable plays. DraftKings Pick 6, we're looking at 2 pick entries with no insurance. If anyone utilizes DraftKings Pick 6, you can make a bunch of different slips right here. Totally cool with these. Any of these green slips all have a bunch of different sports books offering their odds and opinions. So, like, why we like this so much, right? We're looking at Malik Monk under on his points, rebounds, and assists. FanDuel has the line at 29.5, and the under is basically slightly favored, maybe a flip of a coin, right, at minus 113 odds. Pinnacle has the line at 28.5, basically the same thing, minus 111. You're getting this at 30.5. So you're getting 2 more extra points, rebounds, or assists, 1 extra basket or an extra rebound and assist compared to Pinnacle, and this line's 1 point higher than FanDuel. So that's why we want to bet the under, right? That's why this is the top play, because all these books have this line set at either 28 or 29.5, and we're getting this at 30.5. So that's why we love it. Skull, yeah, I mean, Skull, it just kind of depends, man. I've definitely been there with you where I've had some days where I've clicked over here. There's no value right now at the moment. And I'm going to move on from this book, guys, but take a screenshot or pause this, whatever you need, so that you guys can go ahead and smash this, because there's a lot of good value right now at the moment with DraftKings Pick 6. 2 pick entries. Again, I could cook up a different type of slip right here, guys, but as you can see, the price is it's a really big gap with the price at minus 137 on a 2 pick entry. The next best price would be minus 145 on a 6 pick entry. Seems, this seems just to be for DraftKings, for myself, like it's just a 2 pick entry. You're getting the best price. Like, let's just go after those all day long. If I jump over to Sleeper, and I'll go over to Vivid Picks next. Yeah, Sleeper, no value here on Sleeper at the moment, so we'll just move on. Let's go to Vivid Picks. 5 pick entries that we're going to start out with Vivid Picks with insurance. And so they're kind of running a discount with Saquon. And I've never utilized Vivid Picks because, again, I'm in Pennsylvania, so it's not available. But they're always running some type of promo. I always appreciate Vivid Picks for doing that. They definitely run some good promos. So if you wanted to match up Saquon with any of these other people, go ahead and do so. So they're looking for the over on the rushing yards at 99.5. Everyone's expecting Saquon. Like, look at these books, dude. This is insane. I mean, Saquon's having an unreal year, MVP type year. The line's at like 125.5. That's crazy. They're just expecting Saquon to run all over. Let's look at Profit X. Let's look at, and then we'll also look at maybe, also definitely no VIG. Okay, so on Profit X, so where do my eyes immediately go to when I'm looking at this board is right there for Jokic, or Jovic, sorry, for the Heat, over 3.5 assists, okay? I'm looking at Pinnacle minus 106. FanDuel's at plus 106, okay? I automatically, though, go to the where there's a ton of sports books offering their opinions on this. So for myself personally, I'm a bit more interested maybe in Nichols plus 5 because Pinnacle's at minus 133. Let me fire up Profit X really quick. Let's take a look at this. Let's see what we got. Yeah, let me give my permission. So we're looking at Nichols State. And let me throw my big head down here to the bottom right. And we're looking at the optimizer. And again, guys, another great way that you can just utilize the optimizer. They're playing at 4:30 today. 2 smaller college basketball teams, Texas A&M, Corpus Christi, Nichols. So let me come over here to college hoops. We got a million different games going on today. So I'm hoping maybe I could just do a little, there we go. Texas A&M, Texas State, there we go. Nichols State and Texas A&M, Corpus Christi. Do a little Control F. We're looking at Nichols at plus 5 at minus, what is it, plus 5 or is it 5.5? I think it's 5.5. Nope, plus 5, Billy. Stay hot, kids, stay hot. So it's a minus 5. There's only $54 available. So I'm going to be that bad guy right now. I'm going to grab the $54. But utilizing the optimizer, guys, I think it's a great price to Pinnacle. And again, you can see how really quickly you can just grab some solid value over there. Unfortunately, I wish there was like a couple $1,000, but I grabbed the $54 on Nichols at minus 115 odds at Profit X. And I'm looking really at just Pinnacle's odds here. I'm like, all right, I really like that. Now, I do put some respect, like I mentioned before, with player props. So for Jovic here, yeah, we know it's on my bet tracker. Thank you. For Jovic, I just would rather see a larger gap between Profit X and FanDuel, to be honest with you. But as we scroll down just a little bit, I'm looking to see maybe if there's anything else. Old Dominion, this is at plus 105. We're getting this at minus 107. slightly plus EV here. Let me go take a look at Old Dominion, -4.5. And we'll take a look at this over at Profit X. So -4.5. There's about $848 at plus 108 odds. I'll double check this. Okay. And guys, if you see this as plus 104, OddsJam automatically calculates for you that that we're going to be getting paid out. Like, right, this is how these exchanges make money, right? They automatically get paid out. If you win the bet, you have to pay a little cut or portion of your winnings to Profit X. That's how Profit X stays in business. So we'll go ahead. I'll throw a lesser amount, but I'll go 150 on this one. And there's going to be some money out there if you guys want to take Old Dominion at -4.5. Not the band. Great band, though. Got some good jams, Old Dominion. Song for Another Time. I probably listen to that song probably once a week, I'd say. Absolute banger. But Old Dominion Monarchs -4.5. Plus 108 odds on Profit X. Still about $700 available if you guys want to grab some of that. I like this just when I'm looking at Pinnacle's odds. I'm a big fan of where this sits. So we're going to go in here, throw this in at 150. Let's take a look at No Vig now. And let's see what we got with No Vig. And so this is just an easy way, guys, for utilizing this. If you're new to the stream, welcome in. And if you want to, try OddsJam with a 1-week free trial, ask to try the optimizer. Let them know your situation. Let them know which state that you're in, right? And you want to make sure that also, guys, that you kind of know like what sports books are available to you, right? What books that you can utilize, because these exchanges are available in a lot of states and they're awesome, absolutely awesome, especially for arbitrage betting, which we're going to take a look at here in a bit. So anytime, like I mentioned, player props, I'm looking at the odds that No Vig's given us. Where's Pinnacle? Where's FanDuel? I'll even take a look at DraftKings from time to time. So Julius Randle, over 5.5 assists. I wouldn't mind maybe grabbing a little bit of this with Randle. I like this to Pinnacle. It's okay. It's okay to FanDuel. It's not great if we're just looking solely off of FanDuel. But before I do that, I just want to go ahead and take a look to see if there's some liquidity. This game's at 3 o'clock. Nuggets T-Wolves. Got to kind of have a nice spread out today in terms of slate of games with the NBA. I am very excited to do some live betting a little bit later. Randall, I'm pulling this play up. There's about $350. And you know what? I'm a nice guy. I'm not going to take all of the cash that's available for Julius Randle here. So you guys can see right here, over 5.5, we're in the take section. I'm going to grab 150. I'm going to leave 200 out there for you guys. Okay. So I'm in for this with Randle, over 5.5 assists. If you want some of this, come down right here, and you're going to see that there's going to be some value right here. It looks like it just all disappeared, all gone. Adios. Okay, that was pretty quick, but we did get it for $150, so I appreciate that. So we're in on that play over at No Vig, and then Duncan Robinson. Yeah, like I'm not crazy with it's really good outside of FanDuel. So if you want some of this, by all means, go ahead and do so. The over or the under on Wemby. Ooh, see. Now, this is not a positive EV take, but Wemby's in his home country, dude. Wemby wants the ball out. Wemby wants the ball out, in my opinion. He wants to put on a good show. Here's one, though, that I'm very bullish on. Benedict Mathurin, over 1.5 made threes, -115 on FanDuel, -108 at Pinnacle. We're getting this at +113. How much? Come on, give me some liquidity. I want everybody to get in on this play. So it's going to be a mad dash to Mathurin. Looks like that's already gonzo. Yeah, the lines are at -111, -118. That was fun while we had it, but it's not there anymore. All right, let me jump. We're going to come back, guys, to Prize Picks and Underdog, right? I'll show Prize Picks and Underdog once more, and then we'll come back to this a little bit later in the stream. We're going to head over to see if we can make some risk-free money arbitrage betting, and then we'll take a look at the positive EV tool, also the middles tool as well. So if I wanted to kind of remove the fantasy scores, because I don't know, maybe I'm not feeling fantasy scores, because to be honest with you guys, probably my least favorite category to go after when it comes to DFS. So I'll just go ahead and just deselect them, and then we're going to pull up and see what we got. BB, probably not. I will be at some point doing a live streaming where I'm betting live. So if we remove the fantasy scores, guys, here's some of the top plays right here. But we're gonna touch on the sportsbook screen here on the stream today because it is it's 11:18. Like none of the games start until noon, I believe. Or maybe I'll wait until the very end of the stream here when some of the games start to tip off. Let me see when the games first start. I'm just pulling my phone up. Yeah, the first game starts at noon, SMU, NC State. I got a bunch of games start at noon. So what I'll do is I'll kind of extend the stream just a little bit past noon so we can kind of take a look at the sportsbook screen, and I'll just kind of give you my best tips and tricks in terms of what I like to do and how I like to utilize it. So these are prize pick 5 and 6 pick entries. Love seeing like Franz Wagner, just a ton of books offering their opinions on this. They got the line set at 26.5. We're getting this at 25.5. I love that. Prize Picks has the line set too low, so we want to bet the over on this. If sometimes they have the line set too high, then we bet the under. Let's go over to Underdog. Speaking of unders, let's take a look at Underdog. Marathona says, I use P. Nice to hear. Yeah, well, Marathon, I'm going to be out there with you soon, buddy. Sometime in May, I'm moving back to Scottsdale, packing up the U-Haul, moving across the country. This will be like the third time I pack up a U-Haul and drive across the country, but looking forward to it. Looking forward to the sunshine for sure. And I do know that there's I think it's Sport Trade. Someone mentioned Sport Trade is like a newer exchange that's out there that I'm excited about to test out. We're throwing the 2 data points. Let's see what we got for 6-pick slips. Okay, not bad. Not bad at all. I wouldn't make me run a 3-pick entry off of these, but a 6-pick entry I'm totally cool with Underdog. So, yeah, I'm really excited to get out there. I'm going to be visiting my dad in Florida in about a month, I think. And so I'm going to go crazy on the DFS books when I'm down in Florida. Absolutely crazy because I don't have it up here. I need it. Let's go over and take a look at some arbitrage plays. Now, this is pregame arbitrage, but placing 2 bets with 2 different books, right? Making risk-free profit. We're hedging our bets. We're betting on the winner and the loser, and we're making money no matter what happens. This is how I started sports betting way back in the day. Looks like Bet Openly, which is a peer-to-peer sports book, is showing some opportunities, whether this is with DraftKings, ESPN Bet, or MGM and FanDuel. But if I scroll down, I'm just looking for some different opportunities. And so when I'm up here, guys, on the arbitrage tool, I like to set my filters up, right? I just got all my Pennsylvania books teed up. You can see Onyx Odds is there, which is awesome. Thrills, Sports Zeno, all the other books. I have all the markets selected. Now, for myself, I don't set up a minimum percentage, and I don't mess around with the minimum maximum odds. I leave everything blank, right? Because I also like to find good, solid straight wagers. And then maybe I'm just looking for bets for today. I'm only curious about bets for today. The idea behind this, guys, is even if you can make a couple dollars, right? Maybe you don't have $190, okay? Maybe you just have, I don't know, maybe you got like $48, right? So you're going to make $2 no matter what happens with this Anthony Davis play. But this game's going to take place tonight. You're going to get your money back, and then by tomorrow, you can churn through that cash again, right? You're going to get your $48 back plus a couple extra dollars on top, and then you're going to be able to churn that. So you're going to take the gains, your returns that you're receiving, and then put the money to work tomorrow and again and again and again. And that's how those little edges and gains really compound. So that's kind of the beauty behind this strategy. As you can see, there's a lot of different sports books right now. They're offering some different value, whether it's BetMGM with Fanatics, it's ProfitX with Bet365, or DraftKings, or any kind of Canby sports book with Bet365. If you live in a state that has Bet365, you're going to have the greatest time of your life, whether it's just EV betting, arbitrage betting, a lot of profitable plays. So I'm just looking to see if I can find some opportunities where there's some plays out here. Let me look at this Kawhi Leonard play. So let me look at Bet Openly really quick. This is like Cut, also a peer-to-peer sports book that I love to utilize. And we're going to go look for Kawhi Leonard on his 3-pointers. So I'm just going to come over here to NBA player props, click apply. I could use the search button, right? If I wanted to type in clips, I could just come over here. And then I'm looking for threes, right? And here's Kawhi. So you can see that we could bet the under 1.5. Good golly, that's a little small. My apologies, guys. Let me zoom in a little bit. Can I zoom in a little bit more? Yeah. We could bet $880 on the under 1.5 threes. Again, this is a peer-to-peer sports book. They do not care how much money you want to wager on this play, right? So we're getting this at minus 119 odds. So what I'm going to go do is I'm going to log in over to FanDuel, and I'm going to take a look at this over at FanDuel. Because if FanDuel has this at a great price, then we're going to be able to really have some fun with this, okay? So here's how I'm going to execute this. Now I know what Bet Openly, and this is kind of, guys, what the whole point of this stream is to let you get inside my head to show you how I like to execute this ARB, okay? So I'm logging in over at FanDuel. So we're going to utilize the one-click bet feature. Play's automatically going to pull up for me, right? We need him to make 2 threes or more, Okay. I'm going to wait till my location's verified. I want to double check that this liquidity is still there before someone on the stream maybe grabs it all. Okay. And then I'm going to find out, there it is. What's my max wager? The max wager is $400. Okay. So I'm going to leave some liquidity out there for you guys. So if I wanted to go ahead and maybe say, oh, I don't know, grab this at, let's say, $200, I'm going to put $250 down. Okay. So we're going to go over first to bet openly. You can see like this is already getting used up right now, right? We got to move. We got to move. We get the under. 250. I'm in for 250 on the under. Awesome. How much do I got to bet on the over? 200. No problem. I know FanDuel's going to accept the wager size. Bingo. There's an arbitrage play. So let's back up for a second so I can explain what happened. I just wagered a total of $450. I wagered $200 on FanDuel. I wagered $250 on Bet Openly. Kawhi's either going to make 2 3-pointers or more in the game. If that's the case, the wager wins over at FanDuel. I get my $450 back, my Bet Openly money and my FanDuel money. I get that returned to me, plus $10 a profit. If he only makes 1 3-pointer or he doesn't make any 3-pointers in the game, then I'm going to get, again, my $450 back plus $10 in profit. And this is the beauty of utilizing a peer-to-peer sports book like Bet Openly, like Novig, like ProfitX, like Cut, where you saw right there was like $800 available to bet on Kawhi. So then you just go over to FanDuel, you find out exactly what the max wager is that they'll accept, and now you know exactly how much money you can wager on both sides. And so you got to do this a bit quicker, right? A little quickly. That was poor English, Billy. But you got to move fast. But this is how you can guarantee. I just made $10. No matter what happens, I just made $10, right? I can go buy most of my Chipotle today with that play, right? And so now I can go back to the well and say, hey, look at this. No Vig's got an opportunity with Joe Vic on either DraftKings or MGM, right? We can go ahead and grab some more opportunities. This is a great day, specifically today, to arbitrage bet. So many opportunities out there, right? And then if you see an opportunity like this, where this is an ARB to Pinnacle with like an American University, whether it's at -1, +2.5, +2, all of these spreads are really good. If it's an ARB to Pinnacle, this is where I'm just looking to place a straight wager over on Bet Rivers, Sugar House, or Bet Parks, right? If Billy Boy was in the casino last night, bet your bottom dollar I would have placed a large wager on American University, right? So maybe I want to go after the easiest one out of all of these, which is the +2.5, right? I don't want the -1. Maybe I don't want the +2. Maybe I want the easiest spread out of them all. Again, -104, +117. This is an ARB to Pinnacle. If I lived in Canada, I could literally ARB these two sports books to make a risk-free profit. I want to go ahead and bet this over at Sugar House. So these are two different examples, guys, of number one, how I actually execute an arbitrage bet. Number two, how I just like to play straight wagers, right? So I'm over here on Sugar House, which is a Philadelphia bet. It's the Bet Rivers of Philadelphia. Uh-oh. There we go. You guys got the last 4 numbers on my cell phone. This will be fun. If you could figure out the other 7 digits, let me know. All right, I'm just going to get the code over here on my phone, and then I'll go ahead and plug this in, and then we're going to go ahead and place this. Bingo. Cool. All right, we're in. All right, so we're looking at American. I'm going to grab them at maybe +2.5. So we come over here. I like them. The main spread's at maybe ±2. But maybe I want them on +2.5 to see if the odds are still there. -118. Yeah, they adjusted their odds. We wanted this at -104. The value's gone. That's okay. That's all right. We're just going to move on. We'll click refresh, and we'll keep it going. Yeah, Juan, you can do ARBs with sweepstakes books. You can ARB to Fliff. You can ARB to Fliff. You can ARB to Rebet, right? You can see Rebet right here. This is a book, Prop City. You can ARB with a lot of different of these books, whether it's Novig, like we mentioned. The sweepstakes sports books, you can definitely arbitrage with. Now that the Jovic play is out there, I'm just curious what kind of liquidity is out there at the moment. What do we got? I'm just going to pull this up on my phone before we go ahead and smash this. Looking at the Heat and the Nets. We're looking at his under 10.5 points. This is a good price. Oh, wow. Wow. Okay. All right. I'm really getting excited now. All right, I'm going to go over to MGM really quick, and we're going to hit up another arbitrage play, okay? So here's why. I'm I want to log in first because, you know, with MGM, guys, it takes like a million years with this spinning wheel. So I pulled up this Jovic play on no vig on his under 10.5 points at plus 129 odds. There's almost $3,100 available right now. Almost $3,100. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to simply, I want to pull the play up first, but we can go over to the calculator real quick, right? I'm like, holy smokes, there's a ton of money over here. I don't know. Maybe I want to go ahead and I want to bet this over at BetMGM, pull the play up. I might have to pull it up myself. I'm not sure. That's okay. First, I want to make sure that it's over on BetMGM, right? So I got to wait till the wheel comes back. But in the meantime, we know there's a lot of money over at no vig. So if you wanted to put down, I don't know, $250, you could, right? Now, I like to keep my player prop bets under $250, I'd argue, maybe $200. So maybe I just want to go $200. Or in this case, I just want to make $200, so I go $230. I put $190 on a no vig. I'm making $10 to $15 no matter what happens. So I want to find this play, though, first over on, let's go to the NBA, and let's go to this Heat Nets game, okay? Take a look at this. We come up here to players. We go to player points. We go to Heat. We go to see more. Jovic right here, okay? I love this. Let me double check the liquidity. It's dropping. It's dropping. It's dropping. All right. And then I want to go 230. All right. So first we're going to do is we're going to come over here. I'll bet the over 10.5 for $230. There we go. We bet Jovic over 10.5 for $230. And then over at no vig, I just placed a bet on his under 10.5 for $190. Right? I just made $10 or $15 no matter what happens. Remember, we have a total investment of $420. Okay? If the bet wins on no vig, we get the $420 back plus $434.78. And if he scores, I don't know, 30 points tonight, then we get our $420 back plus $430. We're making money no matter what happens. So I just paid for my lunch with 2 arbitrage bets, and these weren't even like the craziest arbs out there, right? So this is how you can make money, sports betting, risk-free, no matter what happens. We just locked in $20 guaranteed profit, if not more, on those 2 examples. I could spend the whole stream going through these arbitrage plays, guys. It is possible to be profitable, especially with plays like Bet Openly, no vig, right? You're like, Billy, I never heard of Bet Openly before. That's why you want to make sure you know every single sports book that's available to you in your state or country, because then you can go ahead and utilize this. Utilize these plays utilize these books to make money for you. Yeah, Cole. No vig doesn't have a desktop website. So the best that I could do, I don't have it pulled up on my MacBook here. So I'm just sharing my phone screen with you guys so that you could see it. No, Ernie, I had never went over to sprint car races, Ernie. I've never been to too many stock races. I've been to one NASCAR race in my life. I went to the Brickyard 400 in Indianapolis like in 2006. And then I have been to one F1 race. I was in Montreal. Back in 2016, I caught an F1 race in Montreal, which was sick. It was pretty cool. First time I was ever in Montreal, and it was a good time. So I'm just pulled up on FanDuel at the moment, but let me pull up. So we're going to hit up some positive EV bets now, right? And then we're going to come back to the optimizer. We'll hit up, look at Dabble and Prize Picks and Underdog again. But I just want to make sure I kind of go through all the various different tools because there's so much going on in the sports betting calendar today. It's an absolute time and a half. So let me tee up all my Pennsylvania books. I'm going to go for a minimum percentage of 3%. I'm going to leave my minimum odds blank. And let's drop down my max odds. We're just going to go to plus 150. Okay. Market date range I'm looking for today, and I have all the markets selected. Okay. We're going to first start off with maybe Odds Jam's recommended bet size over on a recommended formula, and I'm going to go off the power default method. Okay. We're looking to play some straight wagers, right? I'm so pumped now that I just paid for my lunch today. Wonder what I'm going to get. Maybe I'll do a little DoorDash or a little Uber Eats. Not sure what I'm going to go after. So, again, this is just placing straight wagers, guys, where the software, again, does the same thing. It just scans and searches all the sports books. Now, depending on who you talk to, there's a lot of different ways that you can utilize this positive EV tool. So I'm just going to showcase to you a couple different ways that I like to utilize it. So we already hit up Kawhi Leonard under on his player-made threes, but maybe on Zubox, the under 12.5 points. This is good to Pinnacle. It's really good to FanDuel. It's great to every book. Is this still available or still out there, right? We're already on this play on Bet Openly. As you guys see, we're on Kawhi on his player-made threes. If I just go over to points and I go over to Zubox, yeah, there's good value here, 115. I'm going to grab the rest of it, and we're in now, just like that, because I was already loaded up. I bet Zubox for $115, what was left over, for the under 12.5 points, right? Really good price. It's great to FanDuel. It's great to Pinnacle. Kind of like that. I really like that. So we got a good price on this, and I'm in for 115. Now, if there was more money out there, guys, I would have bet more, right? Bet Openly is no different than ProfitX or No Vig. Like, they don't care if you make $1 million on their sports book. They don't. Because all they care about is if whoever wins the bet, they just get paid a small cut, right? They get paid a small amount. Maybe Clint Capella on No Vig, over 19.5 points, rebounds, and assists. Definitely one of my favorite player prop markets to wager on is points, rebounds, and assists for the NBA. Not even close. So I don't see a FanDuel, but I do see like a Caesars, a BetMGM, a BetOnline. All right, now this is just way off, okay? It's a small ARB, but you could ARB this with, a Bet365 or Fanatics, guys. When the plus odds are bigger than the minus odds, you can ARB this to make risk-free cash. Now, I will say over at No Vig, sometimes I scratch my head when I see that, one of these plays maybe has like $10,000 available to wager on. It always makes me kind of pause for a second and go, that's interesting. So before I pull this up, I'm just looking at maybe the combos. That's where we're going to find this. And the over 19.5 at plus 124 odds. There's some good value over here. Not bad. I want a little bit of this with Clint. I know he's not going to make me score a ton of points, but the guy's going to grab like 14 rebounds, right? So I'm just going to grab this for $200, and you can go ahead and grab this if you wanted a little bit more. There's about $256 available. Taking a minute to place this order, which means I'm probably fighting with someone else for the liquidity for this bet. And instead of wasting your time, we're just going to keep it moving. And I'll see if that actually goes through. Verifying the location. Please. We'll find out. I'll just put this in the tracker, though, that I hit it for 200. Let's see. Aha. Partial match. So I got it for how much? I got it for $196.29. All right, cool. So we're in for $196.29. All right, so we're in for that one. Let's do a little refresh real quick, and we're just going and looking at OddsJam's formula. Bruce Brown, points, rebounds, and assists. This is fantastic to Pinnacle. This is insane. Bruce Brown on his points, rebounds, and assists. This is in the Raptors-Hawks game. Let's take a look at this. Let's go down here to the Hawks. Let's come over here to points, rebounds, and assists. Bruce Brown. Yeah, it's not available right now. So either it was or it wasn't, or someone already scooped it up. But that's okay. We'll move on. All right, let's look at a few more. Let's use Pinnacle as a sharp book, and then we'll hop back over to the DFS Optimizer, and we'll take a look. But definitely a day today, guys, like I mentioned, where you can go after a ton of different plays. And if there's anything on the stream thus far that you're a little confused on, or I went too fast, or you have questions, don't hesitate to DM me on X or email me. Don't hesitate to reach out and ask questions. So if you guys wanted to place a 3-leg parlay or a 4-leg parlay over at Bet365, that's totally cool with me. Bet365, as I mentioned, ton of great profitable opportunities. You want to play a 2-leg SGP on the Nuggets T-Wolves game between Gobert and Randall. I'm cool with that. DraftKings, Conley, under 10.5 points. Obviously, it's going to be great to Pinnacle because that's who we're using as the source of truth to D-Vig from. Not bad. Doesn't look too shabby. Randall maybe on his under points, rebounds, and assists again over at Bet Openly, which is this book that I've been using, smashing some bets on. Slight edge to Pinnacle. I mean, good edge to Pinnacle. Not terrible to FanDuel. Let's take a look at this. Nuggets and the T-Wolves. And so we'll just delete this. Take a look at this. We're looking at points, rebounds, and assists. I didn't want to do that, to be honest with you. I did not want to do that at all. That was my bad. My bad on that. Here we go. PRA is what we're looking for. And then we just come down here and click the over amount and see if we got it. Is it there? No, maybe not. Maybe not. It must be gone. All right, that's fine. We'll move on. We'll move back to Prize Picks and Underdog and Dabble. Big day of betting, Daniel. No doubt about that. Paul, what's going on? Sat, what's going on? X-Men Lifestyle. You got it, brother. We're going to look at Prize Picks. Then we're going to show Underdog. And we're going to show Dabble. Now, I don't have any minimum data points teed up right now at the moment, guys, for Prize Picks. So if you're cool with fantasy scores, be my guest. Throw these in there. I myself, they're not my favorite category, like I mentioned, to go after. So you could add McLaughlin. You could add SM3T. Definitely like maybe Steph under, because look at all these other sports books offering their opinions on this play. Steph under on his points, rebounds, and assists. If you don't like this line, though, because of where FanDuel has it, totally cool if you want to move on from it. First map kills, a lot of esports plays right here that we could go after. Again, some of my favorite things to do with esports plays is go after some middle betting opportunities. But, again, some pretty solid value over at Prize Picks at the moment for 5 or 6 pick entries. On Underdog, OddsJam's automatically going to start us off with 6 pick entries. So, not throwing any minimum data points in at the moment, but these would be the top entries over on Underdog if you wanted to play a 6 pick slip. If you wanted to play a 3 pick entry with no insurance, 3 pick entries, no insurance. Here we go. Read them and weep. McLaughlin, Hagelin, Paulo, Hunter Dickinson, Scorchy. So we got some different value here. And then we got some golf guys down here with Harris English and McNeely as well. So 3 pick entries, no insurance on Underdog. This would be what you'd want to go after. And again, for myself, if I was in Arizona right now and I could cook up some slips, I would make a bunch of different combinations of these. I would go top 3, then the next 3, then maybe the 3 after, and then kind of then mix and match the guys' names. I can make probably 5 to 6 different slips based off of all these options and kind of sprinkle the amount of money that I'm wagering on all of these. Chop it up into smaller amounts and just kind of sprinkle it all around and have a pretty diversified portfolio. That's how I would prefer to attack this with Underdog with 3 pick, no insurance entries. And then if you maybe just wanted to rock a 5 pick entry, right, with insurance, minus 121 odds, maybe you don't want to rock a 6 pick entry. You want to rock a 5 pick slip, then again, you can go after these ones right here for Underdog. And we got Malik Monk now in here as well. All right, let's take a look at Dabble really quick. And let's see what we got with Dabble. So Dabble, we're starting off with 5 pick entries, but I want to trim this up really quick. Let's go 3 pick entries, no insurance with Dabble. And so these are 3 pick entries, no insurance with Dabble. A lot of really good opportunities right now. Solid opportunities. And then we'll go over and take a look at better, little flip, little rebet, little parlay play, sleeper, the whole gambit. But hopefully you guys are finding some value, maybe being able to tail some sharp plays. And, we went through some arbitrage examples, which always gets me very excited to make risk-free cash. You already know that you just made money. That's the beauty about arbitrage betting. If you're new to sports betting, the stressful part about arbitrage is locking in both bets. Once you've locked in both bets, sit back, relax, kick your feet up, have a cocktail, and just say, yeah, we're living right now. But the stressful part is, finding both, double-checking your numbers, and then going after them. As I'm just scrolling down to show some other 3-pick no insurance plays on Dabble if you wanted to mess around with some of the yellow or orange plays. Where it's opposite with positive EV, right? Early on, it's just finding the plays, getting good value, and then we got to wait to see what happens come game time. So a couple different ways. I'm really excited. Who do you guys think, by the way, tomorrow? I know we're going to be talking a lot of football tomorrow. Who's it going to be in the Soupy? Who you got? I'm probably pulling for Washington. I guess I'm cool with any of the teams outside of Philly. No offense to the Philly guys. I'm from Pittsburgh, so I just hate the Flyers, and I just got a disdain for Philly. But I'm really pulling for maybe a Buffalo-Washington, like early 90s or late 80s, old school Super Bowl matchup between those two teams. My brother-in-law is a big Redskins fan. He still calls them the Redskins, so shout out to my brother-in-law for staying true. He doesn't call them the Commanders anymore. And so... and I also love how cool, calm, and collective Jaden Daniels is. Of course, if the Chiefs win against Buffalo, I'm not against seeing some history made and Mahomes going for the 3-peat. That would be kind of cool. But I don't know, if I'm not quite sick and tired of the Chiefs. I am kind of tired of the Chiefs getting a lot of calls. We're looking at better 5-pick entries right here. But I'm kind of hoping to see maybe a Bills-Commanders Super Bowl. I think that'd be really awesome. Yeah, Nito knows. Larry, yeah, there you go. I will be awaiting your message, Larry. Buff and Wash, yeah, I wouldn't mind it. Because if it's, I mean, I definitely think, the Commanders are going to be, Washington's going to be the underdog no matter what happens if they win. But, dude, to see them go on the road and just maybe win 3 straight to go straight to the bowl would be really, really cool. I'd love to see that. A lot of really good value on Better at the moment for 5-pick entries. Do we have, if I change this to anything else? Yeah, I mean, that's the problem. So we're seeing that these plays are at -129. So if I change this to a 4-pick entry at -132, you're going to see everything turn to red. And that's other than maybe Mike Conley that just popped up. So don't really want to rock 4-pick entries. Let's take a look at Fliff. What do we got going on Fliff? Let me close up some of these windows so I can slow this down. But glad that you guys were able to stop by and hang out. We're kind of racing through, dude. Already 45 minutes in. Looking at Fliff here. And again, some of these, if you don't want to play plays that are minus the 400s, I totally get that. So what I would maybe do is just go say, you know what? I want -150. And maybe you don't want to go to +175, right? But let me see how many opportunities are there. Okay. If you don't want to go with Kansas first half spread at -2.5 at +167, Saquon over 24.5 rushing attempts. This is a really good price over a Fliff. Really good price. You got to think with Jalen having a bum knee, right? He's going to be having a brace on. Probably not going to be running a ton. It could be a heavy Saquon day. So let me go ahead and tee this up. I do like this Saquon bet. I got about $250 left over. I might just unload the last $250 on this Saquon play. So we're looking for rushing attempts down here at the bottom. And then Saquon over 24.5. Let's go ahead and throw the rest of it on here. 250 on the over 24.5. There we go. There's the rest of my Fliff balance. Adios, Fliff. That's a nice little play there. I like that. I think they're going to feed him heavily. They're going to lean on him a lot. And I don't know if the Commanders are going to be able to stop him. We're going to find out. That last Eagles-Commanders game in Washington this year in the regular season when the Commanders came all the way back. What a game that was. If we could have a game similar to that, I'm going to be pumped. And I know Bills-Chiefs is always going to be fantastic. It's going to be down to the wire. It's going to be great. So we just hit the Saquon play up. But again, if you want to go after any of these other plays on Fliff, totally fine by me. We hit this Peyton Pritchard play up a little bit earlier. And the reason I'm so bullish on it is because we got a great price compared to Pinnacle and not too shabby compared to FanDuel. So over at -120 odds. Again, this little question mark box here is OddsJam's algorithm. So if -122 is what this thinks this Pritchard play should be, we get it at -120. That's why it's being recommended on the screen. Over at Rebet, if we take a look at what's going on with Rebet, again, some very juicy plays. You want to take San Antonio +11. There's just Rebet and Bet Rivers at the moment. If you wanted to switch this up and say, I want at least 3 minimum data points before I go ahead and place a wager, you can easily do that and kind of clear out maybe a little bit of the clutter that pops up on the optimizer. So right here, you can see that Pinnacle's getting this at -132 on the over in Liberty FIU, and we're getting this at plus odds over at Rebet. So if you have a Rebet account, I like this. If you're looking, though, between these couple of plays, all 3 of these plays are the same, I would argue to go after the over 138.5 because it's the easier of the two to win, right? But if you wanted to go and just play it by the numbers, you could take the over 139.5. But out of all of these plays, this one's naturally the easiest over to hit. And if you want to ladder all 3 of these plays, you can. Just understand you're adding a lot of risk to your position. If both of these teams come out today and have a horrible shooting game, they score 120 points combined. It's a 70 to 50 game final score, and you bet the over all 3 ways, that's going to be painful. Okay, so sometimes if you don't want to take on that much risk, I would just go after the 138.5, call it a day, and move on to the next plays. Looking over here, the same thing with the over on Northern Iowa and Indiana State. Again, some of these college basketball teams guys were talking about, a Bradley, a Utah State. These aren't the Dukes and Kentuckys of the world, right? They're smaller conferences. So just keep that in mind, right? But I don't mind having some exposure to these plays because I do think they're solid. Let's take a look at parlay play. Let's see what we got over at parlay play. So we had some solid value in the beginning of the stream with parlay play. At the moment, not much going on. What about sleeper? I would be willing to bet there's probably not that much value over at Sleeper right now. Yeah, that's what I kind of figured. Let's take a look at maybe Vivid Picks. All right, Vivid Picks. We talked about the Saquon play. Pretty good on Malik. Like we talked about Malik Monk. This is decent, not bad. Also, when you're looking at like this under right here, you might want to bet this under possibly over at DraftKings as well. And the reason that I say this is because we're getting this at under 29.5 at minus 121 odds. And you can see at DraftKings, we're getting the under 30.5. Okay, so we're getting an extra. The line's moved up one. This is a little juicy at minus 120. But this is another way that you could look at this screen. Like all the books have this at 28.5 outside of FanDuel. And we can get this at 30.5, the under over at DraftKings. Might be a solid just straight wager to play over at DK. And that's how you can utilize the optimizer, guys, to just find some sharp plays. Even down here in the plays in yellow, if we're looking at like Conley, we're getting the under 10.5 points. FanDuel sees this at minus 138. Pinnacle's at minus 157. We're getting this at minus 121 on a Vivid Picks 5-pick slip. So that's why we like those plays. Let me take a look at some of these other books that we have. Let's look at maybe Prop City as well. If anyone that wants to rock some Prop City plays. Ho-ho! Got a little Prop City value right now. Okay. Some soccer. These odds aren't too crazy. Again, if you want to dial this in a little bit more, say, I want at least 3 other sports books offering their opinions here. Now you can find some really solid plays over on Prop City. You want to build a parlay. You want to bet these is all straight. I'm cool with it. I try to refine the process a bit and say, look at right here. Chris Boucher, I'm going to butcher his name. Sorry, brother. Under 8.5 player points. It's even odds at Pinnacle. It's minus 106 at FanDuel. We're getting this at plus 110 at Rebet. Not too shabby, right? You're getting a really good price on him at the under 8.5 points. I definitely like that, right? Jane Daniels to not throw an interception. Minus 107 on Pinnacle. We're getting at plus 110 over at Rebet. I can get into that, right? So these are just some different ways that I like to utilize the tool. By all means, nothing wrong with a Josh Hubbard under his player points. It's just some different things that I like to specifically look for on Rebet for Prop City. If we go back over and maybe take a look at it, we'll throw in Onyx odds again to see if Onyx pops up at all. Nothing at the moment. That's a bit disappointing. I'm not going to lie. DraftKings pick 6. Let's look at DraftKings pick 6. Had some value earlier. There's still solid value out there right now. 2 pick entries, minus 137 odds, no insurance. You can make a bunch of different slips here. I'd argue you can make probably 4, 5, 6 different slips. Shaq, I don't always use pin. It's a good question. I don't always use, in this example, for player props, like for the NBA, like I mentioned, I like to use Pinnacle and FanDuel as my 2 reference points, right? When I'm looking at main lines, like money line spreads totals, I'll look at Circa, I'll look at Bookmaker, I'll look at BetOnline, I'll look at Pinnacle, okay? For player props, I lean a little bit more on FanDuel. Now for hockey player props, I don't lean on FanDuel at all. I think hockey player props, again, it just depends on the sport, right? And this is just me and my opinions through the years of sports betting, kind of what I feel. Certain books are sharper in other sports. I think like Canby for Bet Rivers. For soccer player props, like EPL, MLS, I think Bet Rivers is very sharp on soccer player props. I use them as my sharp. But if it's NBA player props for Bet Rivers, I'll smoke them. You saw last night, I bet Bet Rivers on an NHL player prop. Paul Mary cashed for me. So I don't think that certain sports books have their strengths and weaknesses. I haven't figured all of it out. But as I've gone along, I'll share with you what I do know or what I feel very strongly about. And definitely for player props, FanDuel's one of them, especially with Pinnacle, and especially when we get closer to tip. Like in this Spurs-Pacers game, like I would have a supreme confidence in FanDuel with their pregame line. No doubt about that. But you're going to get different opinions depending on who you talk to. Let's look at Novig and see what we got over at Novig. Just depending on who you talk to, you're going to get some different opinions. But I think in general, you're going to hear maybe some similar sentiments when it comes to player props. It's difficult with player props. There isn't just one sharp sports book. It's a collective blend of a lot of different, of just looking at the market and taking a look. Because again, this whole entire strategy is a top-down sports betting strategy. Where's the market have this priced? And then can we find a price that is really far off or an outlier? And that's really what we want to go after. Like here for Miles Bridges, I really like this. Minus 115 FanDuel, minus 104 Pinnacle. And then, Caesars is very bullish on it. So if I pull this up on No Vig, is there any liquidity at all? Nice to see them getting some money down over at No Vig. We're looking at this Pelicans-Hornets game. Now, it's maybe a little early in the day for me to be betting on this game. It's at 7 o'clock at night, but I don't mind going after this because sometimes you can find some incredible value. All right, there is. So I'm not going to take everything, but I'll showcase to you right here, guys. We just locked in Miles Bridges for $150. Right here, the over 7.5 for $150. And there is still some value out there. There's about $108 on the plus 105. If anybody wants this on No Vig, I would say go, go, go. Grab it right now. I'm definitely in on that. So we're in for $150 on Bridges. And I just think it's a great price compared to some of the sharper books. And so we'll throw this in the tracker. Nice to see that we get some plays down. What I love about this with No Vig, a lot of sports books. You can come down here, look at all these books that have their opinions here for these NBA player props. Right? You're just getting great prices. And so what I'm really looking for here is where's FanDuel and Pinnacle, right? Maybe I'm not crazy about Durant on the under because Pinnacle's at plus 105. Not that big of a gap to No Vig, right? I want No Vig. I either want Pinnacle at minus 105 or I want this price to be at plus 130. And I'm going to be very excited. Otherwise, I'll just kind of move on. But that's kind of what I'm looking for when I'm looking at all these different plays, right? I'm really trying to find plays that really are tailored to what I like and kind of attack that way. And again, guys, just DM me on X, shoot me an email. You want to talk shop, you want to talk strategy. That's what I'm here to do. Utilize me as your guide, resource, or just somebody that maybe you can get some free information off of, right? I'm cool with that. Profit X, let's take a look over there. Now, for myself personally, I'm not crazy about betting on collegiate player props. Just not my cup of tea. But if you are someone, or maybe you watch, I don't know if Salas plays for Duke or Wake, but if you watch a lot of their basketball and you're like, yeah, dude, he's going to go off. He's been just shooting the rock. Really, he's been really nice with it the last couple of games. Then maybe you want to go after this on the over on the points. As I talked about this before, we arbed this with Jovic, right? We hit an arb on this play earlier. There was a couple $1,000s, I believe, out there to wager on this. So we hit this up, got a great price. I'm cool with just playing that as, with an arb. I don't have to go after it anymore. But again, you can look at maybe some other books and maybe grab some different plays here. For myself at the moment, I'm okay. I'm just going to chill on these right now at the moment. I'll come back to this a little bit later. And let's look at maybe if anyone does use an owner's box, I definitely want to showcase this. And I'll also show SportsZeno for anyone that uses SportsZeno. Shout out to them. They verified me last week and or 2 weeks ago. And they executed my withdrawal. They paid me out. So I'm back in the good graces with SportsZeno. And again, if you wanted to maybe say, hey, I want at least 3 minimum data points or 3 other sports books with their odds, then obviously we can curtail this. A lot of these odds on SportsZeno are very juicy, very, very juicy, like minus 300s to minus 500s. So just depends on what you like and what you want to go after. Let's show underdog once more. Brunson under 7.5 assists on Caesars Delta. Appreciate that, brother. Thanks for shouting out the plays. And anyone that's been shouting out the plays, I apologize if I missed it earlier, but appreciate you guys shouting it out. So we're getting close to noon. And as I mentioned at the beginning of the stream, I definitely want to showcase the sportsbook screen. Some of these college basketball games are going to tip. And then I'll also showcase the live betting feature on maybe the positive EV tool or arbitrage tool. And just kind of go through some of my best tips that I just like to provide you guys, right? That's what this is all about. Just trying to give you as much free information as I possibly can. And all I ask in return is maybe you hit the like button, smash the subscribe button, right? I also stream on my personal YouTube channel, guys. So if you want to come over there and hang out, I stream Monday through, I basically stream every day, but now it's going to be some of it on OddsJam. I'll be back on the OddsJam channel tomorrow at noon. So if you see an OddsJam stream at noon tomorrow, it's going to be me. It's not going to be Alex, but Alex will definitely be streaming on here still. We still get the GOAT. He's going to be showing us some of the sharp plays. But appreciate you guys hanging out. So let's go over to the EV tool. So maybe you're getting ready to do some live betting, right? You're really getting all pumped up. So here's the first thing that I would do. Take your sports books that you're going to bet with today and log into them, okay? And all we're going to do is we're only going to focus on college basketball totals or college basketball spreads. That's all we're going to do. Okay, I really want to make sure you whittle this down, right? So maybe you want to utilize some books with the one-click bet feature, like a FanDuel, like a DraftKings. Maybe BetMGM's too slow for you. Maybe you go Caesars, right? Maybe those are just your 3 books. Or maybe you just pick one book. Maybe you just do DraftKings. That's cool with me, right? Then maybe I'll whittle this down, right? I'll say, you know what? I just want this at, I don't know. I want this at 125, plus 125, and I want this at minus 125. Okay, those are my odds range, right? Live betting, guys, the percentages are crazy good, right? So I want at least, I don't know, let's say I want a minimum of 7% EV. Okay, I only want 7%. And then for sports, you can leave this as selected all. And then for leagues, you can just clear out all the leagues. And then you're going to go to basketball. And we're going to go to NCAA. Okay. Markets, you're only going to go after maybe main market plays, right? We're going for today. And I don't know, maybe we put this as like 40 market width. Okay. I'm fine with that. And then the DVIG settings, I'm fine. If you want to go to the Pinnacle, that's cool. I like using Pinnacle when I'm live betting as my sharp book. And this is it, right? And you're just going to now, I don't know, show this. And so when you come over to live, this is it. You're just going to press the play button. You're going to be logged in, and you're just going to take a look. You're just going to be, now you're logged in. You got the college basketball. You're going to be on your DraftKings. You're going to have college basketball pulled up. You're going to have FanDuel college basketball, right? And now you're just chilling. Now you're just waiting, right? And you're just waiting for things to pounce, and now you're set up, right? Because early on with live betting, there's going to be so much going on. There's so many games. Maybe some different sports are going on, whether it's a tennis, college basketball. And so there's a lot going on. So you just really want to narrow in and focus, okay? Or if you want to utilize the sportsbook screen, what I like to do is I'll come over here. I'll go to college basketball, okay? Now maybe I'll expand this. Maybe I'll shrink this screen and I'll open up another tab. And so I'll have point spreads and I'll have total points, okay? And all I want to do is, you can see my most of my rec books that I like to use. I use BetChris as well as a sharp book outside of Pinnacle. And maybe I'm just going to come over to total points. Okay. Now, typically with college hoops, I'm chilling in the first half. Early on in the first half, the first half of the first half, I'm kind of just chilling, right? But I'm coming over here, and maybe, I don't know, I just want to focus on like the first 3 games, right? That's all I want to do. I'm just focusing here. And then once the games start, I'm going to be maybe logged into my FanDuel, DraftKings, ESPN bet, and I'm looking for big price discrepancies, okay? I'm looking for 3 points off. So what do I mean by that? Pinnacle's at 131 over-under on this Campbell game. I'm looking for either a 133, 134, or a 128, 129, right, on any of these recreational sports books, right? I'm looking for a 2-point gap at least between these rec books. So I'm logged into my FanDuel. I'm logged into Bet365, and I got these 3 games. I'm just focused on these 3 games, and I'm just chilling. The games are going on, and I'm just chilling. I'm watching the screen, and then I'm waiting for a spot. I'm waiting for that spot where BetChris and Pinnacle kind of load up their odds, and then bingo. If it's a 2 or 3 point gap, I'm going after this, right? So a half-point gap, a 1-point play is not enough for me in the first half. I want to see a larger gap. And I know that things aren't going on at the moment. Game should be kind of starting, so we'll refresh real quick. But these are just some tips, right? Instead of trying to catch like 20 different college basketball games going on at once, just focus on 1 or 2 or 3, okay? Maybe whether it's total points or point spread. And once Pinnacle and BetChris start to load their lines up, right? Maybe they're at 145. All right. Maybe this under 147.5, right? Maybe I'll wait, but this is 2.5 point difference to Pinnacle on ESPN bet. I would want to bet the under here, right? This looks good. This is what I'm talking about. Man, that's 2.5 points, but it's early. We just kind of wait, right? And then this is when you find it. Oh man, you're going to see some really big discrepancies, but you want to be logged into the sports books. You want to be focusing on a certain market, right? Whether it's point spreads, money lines, total points, and that's it. That's really it. And that's how you're going to be able to start to get the hang of this. And then as you start to expand and get the hang of it, then you can add more games, right? And then you can start to look at this board a little bit more, right? So whether it's the EV tool, live betting, arbitrage, whatever the case may be, this is how you can do it, right? Pretty simple. This is kind of how I like to live bet when it comes to this. So, that's really it, guys. I'll be back on tomorrow at noon Eastern time doing the same thing, sharing some best plays, some best tips. But appreciate you guys hanging out, stopping by the stream. If nothing, have any questions, reach out. But have a great Saturday, guys. Take care.